Hi, my name is Anne Sikora. I'm a psychotherapist. I live in Brooklyn, New York. My office is located below where I live in a brownstone where I'm raising my two teenage kids. I feel inspired to produce some kind of content which describes the work that I do and also offers an alternative to the typical YouTube content for middle-aged ladies, which is all kind of trying to make yourself young again through makeup tutorials. There's nothing wrong with that. I love a good makeup tutorial, but I'm hoping to offer something more substantive. And I know people are coming home from their jobs, they're tired, they don't have a attention span to sit down and read a complicated book. People just don't read books anymore. I used to read a lot of books. I don't read books. I watch lots of movies on Amazon, to be frank. But I hunger for something more interesting, something more substantive, and I want to try my hand at it. I want to tell you a little bit about what I do, what I would tell one of my patients if they came in to work with me. I'm also hoping to tell the story of my transgender older daughter, how she came out, and to talk about some health issues that I have, what it's like to have elderly parents. Those are the main bases I want to hit. I don't want to go on and act like my story is so incredibly significant, because really we all have stories that we're telling. And what I'm interested in as a therapist is this idea that storytelling has a healing power. That by telling your story, and I'll often describe to patients that when we first sit down to work, it's as if we're standing back from a painting and you can't really see the shapes, you can't really, it's indistinct. You don't really know what the story of your life is because you've never really sat down to tell it. But what I've found again and again is that when people take that time to really understand their inner life, they begin to realize things about themselves, develop an observing ego, and they're able to sort of step back and be able to have more choices. So storytelling is an ancient art. It's what we did in the caveman days when it was dark and cold. We sat around the hearth and peered at the cave walls and tried to decipher the drawings. And so I feel like there's a really rich history, and I think there's a need in contemporary life for people to be part of a community. We're not religious beings generally anymore. People don't go to church in the same way that they used to in, say, my parents' generation. And so people feel like out of connection. Mainly we're just looking at our phones or talking on our computers, and basically the only time people get to really interact, I find, is when they come in to talk to me in therapy. They have to turn their phone off and talk for 45 minutes. And there's something so interesting about that connection and that closeness. So that's what I'm on about.